Good afternoon, traders. This is Michael Heart Pumper and Taylor coming to you on Monday, Labor Day, September 5th. We're going to do a kind of a quick fireside chat. I wanted to ask Taylor a couple questions since he's a new trader about his process and how he's been going about trading these past few weeks and how he's looking to improve his trading. If you want to check out the Discord, he's been posting all of his trades in a trading log, which we'll go over and he can show you. I think it's good for new traders that are coming into Gamma Edge to look to see how other traders are doing things. I don't suggest people copy other traders, but I do suggest people look at the trades and possibly look at some things that they are doing and take away and maybe incorporate them into their trading plans. So, okay, Taylor, we're going to go ahead and kind of discuss about your process, kind of what you do in the morning and how do you get ready to trade the day using the Gamma Edge tools and any other tools for that matter that you use. So.
Sure, appreciate it. Yeah, so for me, everything starts the morning of trading. I know a lot of people like to do work the night before, but frankly, after a full day of trading and doing Game Edge stuff, I'm a bit burnt out. So I like to take the night to myself, kind of mentally recharge. And then it all starts with the PBI charts. I know Paul posts the SPX as part of his morning call routine. Um, Sorry, I lied. So the market status that I do the night before actually is the start of my process. That's kind of where I get what happened the day before and what I'm expecting to happen in the next session. So that's all right here. I post those videos every night. And then again, where I left off, in the morning, I will post the PBI charts for the SPY, QQQ, IWM. I primarily focus on the SPY. Um, so yeah, I mean, it really starts with the dashboards that we create. I look at the market in terms of kind of level to level trading, kind of good above, bad below, keep it real simple. So here, I'm just looking kind of where the major liquidity levels at, liquidity zones where we should see some form of price interaction. So for instance, Friday into that session we were talking about, that would have been 390 to 400. Sure enough, price kind of interacted there. So once I get kind of those bearings down for the session, I will come, so this is just my kind of simple quad setup I have. Yeah, I just have the three indices and then VIX here, lower right. So I will overlay um, our, where is it? Our TradingView Gamma script, which produces the same PBI levels that I just showed you guys. That'll overlay it on my screen. And then if there's any other kind of other minor gamma levels that aren't being picked up by the script, I will also overlay those as well. And so again, just back to the level to level concept, this just kind of visualizes for me where these levels that I'm looking to trade against are for the session. And then lastly, I know there's a million indicators out there. I prefer VWAP. VWAP through, watching it throughout this year tends to have a lot of confluence with gamma levels. So again, it gives me confidence when I'm taking trades that I have good levels to trade against, meaning I know if I'm right or wrong very quickly. Risk is very manageable. So yeah, and then from there, I will just monitor throughout the day kind of how price is interacting with those levels. If it's a trend day, if it's a chop day, those are different kind of trading regimes, require different kinds of trades. So yeah, and then lastly, I don't have it up, but the tick indicator that we use, I'm also wanting that to confirm um, which direction the market's trading for the day, meaning if we're getting positive filtered ticks, we have a strong trending up cumulative tick, I'm more inclined to take longer trades. And then vice versa, if we're seeing selling pressure that we've seen this past week, then I'm more inclined to try and take trades on the short side. So that's a little bit of my process, Michael.
Awesome, that's great. So I guess my question is, which we get this from multiple traders, is do you search thousands and thousands of stocks at night, or do you have some type of process where you get a watch list and kind of narrow that down, or how do you go about that? I know we get that question all the time. So.
So I used to be that guy, I won't lie, where I'd spend hours and hours on the weekend sifting through thousands of charts looking for the perfect setup. But I mean, over time, really understanding price action, understanding kind of gamma, the tick index, it's really cut down. I mean, my process, I kid you not, takes 20 to 30 minutes maybe a day to get ready for the session. And mainly the reason for that is because I put the time in. So I can afford myself to do that. Now, a newer trader, it's going to take you a lot longer just because you don't have the screen time yet. Um, I'm not saying I'm the greatest in the world. I'm just saying that's kind of what my process is. Yeah, I mean, I will still occasionally go through all the main sector ETFs on the weekends just to see if there is anything setting up. But again, it's a product of the environment that we're in. Since November, we haven't been in a favorable kind of cancel and breakout trading strategy. So I've had to adapt myself into more of an intraday um, scalping strategy, I guess you could say. If there comes back to a time where it's an up only market like we had in the Corona rally in 2021, then I will certainly be back to looking at a couple hundred charts on a weekend to find those that are going to be breaking out. But right now, I don't find that very, very fruitful with my time.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I kind of do the same thing. I think so basically, a few buckets. I think this is probably what you're lending to is you have your weekend homework, and then you have your intraday or daily homework, and those may look slightly different because you cast a wider net on the weekend and then a smaller net, intraday. So okay, so that sounds great. Let's go ahead and maybe look at a couple trades that you posted in your trade log. Show everybody where you post those. I post. I know a lot of people have started making their own logs. So let's go ahead and go through a couple trades and we'll discuss, and then we'll finish up with maybe some risk management and how you've kind of evolved within the past few months. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so everyone, so in the gold section under Gamma Trades, we have threads for various people that have trading logs down here. I know Michael has one, JB has one, Paul has one, I have one. So here, what I started it, I don't know, yeah, the beginning of, I don't know, end of September, early October, or sorry, August. And so, yeah, I mean, really, I'm just posting kind of the chart, what the setup was like. Some days will be more detailed than others, just depends what I have going on. But I typically like to say, hey, this is the setup I see. This is what my stop is at. This is where I'm looking to take profits. And then I'll obviously post the result of the trades. And you'll notice, I mean, there's kind of a mix of days I will take trades and days I won't take trades. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to feel the need to force trades every single day. So if a trade setup's not there, then the market's always on tomorrow, so I can come back and try again. So yeah, here are just some examples of trades that I've taken. For instance, here, this is kind of a bread and butter. You have kind of a zero gex confluence with a VWAP. So the entry would have just been a hold of this level right in here, and then move higher. Which we got. I mean, you could have taken profits at the +1 standard deviation, or kind of a thing that I'm learning is, as price is holding the +1 to +2 standard deviation, that's kind of the runner lane where you can get some pretty quick gains like we did see in this session. My stop for the day would have been break below 0 gex VWAP, so you can see price was, or my risk was very tightly defined here. So really this trade didn't really experience a lot of pressure. So yeah, I mean this was just an example of a good trade that I took there.
Yeah. So a question about this is it seems to me that you've got your levels very well defined.
Yep.
You got your risk management very well defined, and you're using type of binary type trading. If this, then this, and if the price goes below where your level is marked, then you're just out, right? And you just cut the loss or cut the win, and you go on to the next trade.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I try to keep it really simple. Like I know there's people out there that try to make it real hard, and I know we have people in our room that like to understand like the specific mechanics of everything that's happening. But I mean, kind of through just doing this for 2 years now and understanding kind of the gamma price interaction, just kind of intuitively understand what's happening at these levels. So it just lends well for making those kind of decisions for myself of good above, bad below, in, I'm out. So, yep, keep it simple.
Totally agree. Yeah, awesome. Good stuff. Okay, on to the next trade.
Yep. So again,
you gotta throw a loser in there somewhere, right?
Oh yeah, no, we only lose winners online. So
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is kind of just a similar trade of so this is something I've noticed too. We have a nice run up kind of in the morning maybe, and then the first test of VWAP is typically a good spot, a very good risk reward spot. What I've noticed is on trending days especially, you will get this retest and then you will resume higher again. So that was kind of the thought process here. We had a little bit of, these are 5-minute bars by the way. So a little bit of consolidation here. Took the trade again. You can clearly see if we break below, I'm clearly wrong in my thesis for the trade. So again, risking minimal amount of money here. And then we just got a nice move higher. It looks like I scaled out probably at this +2 standard deviations, and then we dumped. So that was lucky that I took my profits then. But again, the trade setup was there to lend itself. So yeah, good. That's just a good example of another trade there.
Yeah, I think so. So what I've noticed, at least some of your posts coming up, is you've kind of evolved into taking profits sooner and quicker than maybe what you had before. Kind of that swing trade more mentality, long-term mentality is slightly different when you're doing some intraday trading. So I don't know if you can speak to that, but that seems like you've started to work on that scale out, getting into positive territory really quickly. So.
Yeah, and I mentioned that to you this past Friday as well. Kind of something I'm leaning more towards is because even like here, like price is so tightly defined, or your risk is that theoretically you can put your whole account in this trade and have minimal amount at risk. It's just math, right? So um, I'm I'm kind of leaning more towards that because my entries are pretty good. Just using the levels and the tools that we have, entries are pretty good. Well, we'll get that initial push, and then I'll look to scale out a lot of it there because I had so much in the trade I can take it off quickly and still make good money on the trade. Um, who's to say how far along the trade will go? So that's kind of where your runner comes in. But I kind of forget your question at this point. But yeah, I think I hit on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, you did, and I think that, and I've discussed this multiple times. Just what you said, and I say this to people all the time, is we never know how far, how long. I call them waves. I'm not saying Elliott wave, but how far, how long that trend or that wave in intraday will go. And obviously, you're on a 5-minute chart, right? So
Yep.
that wave will be a lot smaller than a 15-minute or 65-minute or a daily chart, but it will still look the same in price action, just depending on what your time frame is. But so what you're saying basically is you're scaling out because you don't know how far it's going to go. What happens multiple times or many times that we see is it reaches a gamma level, right? Or it reaches the previous day high or previous day low, and then we get some reaction.
Yep.
All retail traders are doing the same thing, right? They're getting in. Luckily, I think we have a little bit more edge here at Gamma Edge with our gamma levels, but they're getting in and they're waiting for the move and they're taking profits. So we're all kind of doing the same thing, just depending on where our entry's at and how we're emotionally managing risk. So no, I think what you're doing is excellent, and kind of how you're doing it. So anyway,
Yeah, last point here is, I mean, this stuff's all fractal too, right? Meaning it works on the 5-minute, works on the hourly, works on the daily. So kind of just whatever your time frame is, this stuff will work. But again, it just comes down to putting the work in, understanding kind of your process and how you're going to use this. So
yeah, I definitely think that's the key point because a lot of people say I don't want to sit here and intraday trade, right?
yep,
And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the price action that Taylor is using intraday is the same price action you can use on any time frame.
yep,
It transcends all time frames.
exactly.
But you have to know where your risk is and you have to have it managed. You could enter end of day and do the same type of thing that he's doing. It's just the time frame and the bars will look slightly different, right? I mean, there'll be a lot more noise intraday on a 5-minute compared to a 65-minute chart.
Yeah,
So you can do the same thing. Obviously, I prefer if we're doing these more 65-minute to hourly to daily swing time frames, you want the tick on your side if you're long or short, depending on kind of what you're looking at.
yeah.
So anyway,
The
any
last
more
point,
trades you want to go over?
yeah, the
Yeah, go
last
ahead.
point real quick on this is it depends what your goals are too. Like I just if I make one good trade a day, that's all that I need. I can close my computer, be done for the day, and come back again the next day, and hopefully there's a setup there for me. Now it's harder for me because my business is in the market, so I'm moderating our server all day, and I'm kind of looking at this stuff. So for good or bad, I'm sometimes taking trades I wouldn't otherwise take just because I'm looking at it. But yeah, but my goal is just to have one or two good trades a day, and then that'll make up for if the trades are there. I'm not forcing anything like I was saying earlier, but yeah, just important to understand kind of what your goals are and what you're looking to get out of this too, and making sure those are realistic goals at the same time.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So that quick question: do you have any hard stop for yourself? Let's say you lost on the first 3 trades of the day. Do you have any percent hard stop, or you're just just kind of feeling it out, or you're saying, oh, I lost 3 trades. Okay, I'm done for the day. Is that kind of like your strikeout, or do you have any type of the rules like that?
Um, no, I really don't. I know some people have like a 2 or 3 strike rule. I mean, if the trade setup's still there, I'll keep chopping away at it because, like I was saying, like my risk is pretty tightly defined when I'm entering the trade. So when I lose, it's just paper cuts. So I can withstand a gazillion paper cuts. So I mean, as long as it's
Yeah.
still there. But again, I mean, like if I'm getting chopped up, then I typically will go take 30 to an hour long walks or go do something else. So I guess maybe that's kind of just inherent
Yeah.
stop in my
Yeah.
system. But no, I'll never just 3 strikes and I'm out, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, kind of refresh, reset, and come back, and you get a different perspective on the price action, and it still may look terrible, right? I mean, it still may be choppy in the middle of gamma levels, and really there's no edge. So then you kind of have some clarity on that. So anyway, okay, great. So let's talk about kind of your evolution. You said you've done this, started 2 years ago. So what do you feel like you've changed the most? What do you feel like you kind of need to improve on? How do you kind of move forward from where you're at?
Well, yeah, like I was saying earlier, I mean, my background, I got into the markets through, I mean, like Tasty Trade, like 4 or 5 years ago, got me in, thought selling premium was the greatest thing ever. Um, and then I went on to like CanSlim, that kind of resonated with me. Just kind of looking for, kind of consolidation patterns, understanding risk management, how to size trades, understanding kind of the under like market generated information, kind of what sectors are leading, what stocks are leading, kind of intermarket relationships. That's more macro than canceling, but still, it all kind of interplays together. And then yeah, ever since we started Gamma Edge, kind of meshing the tick index, which is our long and short term trend, with gamma levels, and kind of understanding, what the market is expecting, where the market's placing their bets, understanding really understanding price action and price interacting with those levels, and then kind of reacting to what price is doing. And then lastly, which is most important, is then just risk management, because like we said on open mic the other night, like you can flip a quarter to go long or short, and if your risk management is sound and you're taking good risk defined trades, then you can make money doing that, or break even, or not at least blow yourself up. So I mean, risk management is really really important, and that's been the biggest thing that I've learned and continue to focus on every day. And as far as improving, I mean, I'm human. I just feel like I need to trade every single move I see, or every single potential setup. And so it's just being disciplined and making sure really it's a good thought out plan and setup that I'm taking, and not just, oh, it touches VWAP, so let's take this trade, but kind of taking just everything into context. So
Awesome. Yeah, sounds great. All right. Thanks, Taylor, for doing this. We may have some other trader. I'm going to call these trader spotlights, maybe fireside chats with some other traders in the room. Kind of just an idea that I've tossed around. So this is kind of the first one. Maybe we'll get Paul on here and interview him next. That'd be a great interview. So we're going to go ahead and close it up for now, and everybody have a great weekend, and keep up the good work there, Taylor, and Game Edge, and posting your market status for everybody to follow along. So, all right, thanks.
yep, thanks Michael, thanks everybody, see you later.
Okay, see you.
Bye.